Hi again, everyone. I'm Ollie Matthews. This is the Narcissistic Resistance. And this resistance video is a co-sponsored video, co-sponsored by Chiquita for Charlie. And the reason this one's a co-sponsored one is because it is very long. It's an audio file that's almost an hour long. So here we go.
Hi, Ollie. This is Charlie. I'm writing to you with the intention of bringing some awareness to a possible trend in corporate narcissistic abuse by small private schools opened and run by the narcissist, who then financially abuses the well-meaning parents and then often will abuse or neglect the children in their charge to fuel their supply needs. I found this out the hard way when two different narcissistic school directors manipulated and abused both me and my child in a variety of ways. Let me just say I didn't know anything about narcissistic abuse or gaslighting or mind control, this type of mind control stuff. I had no idea about any of this before I came to these schools. And these schools actually opened my eyes to this kind of abuse. So this is a big deal for me, because then it put a lot of pieces of the puzzle together, all the way back to my narcissistic mother. So anyway, this video is to help parents like me who would otherwise be lured into a trap like this. These two schools ironically had two opposite styles of narcissism, or narcissistic abuse. One being more overt and abusive, while the second was more neglectful and covertly abusive. This story is about the first school. I really wanted her to learn a second language and to have the ability to socialize with other children. I decided against my original choice to homeschool and put her in this private school, believing it was best for her. And, you know, so that she could experience things outside of the house. It is a long story, and even longer if I told the whole story. Please understand that my goal is to expose this school to protect the children and their families from being narcissistically and systematically abused by this woman and other people like her. I have started homeschooling my daughter, and we're looking into some charter schools and things like that. So I've already done everything that I could possibly do. I've called the police and the CPS, and I've hired lawyers, and I've written things, and I've spent 100 hours writing and calling and doing stuff. So I've done everything that can be done. I hired 2 different lawyers without any real work on either one of their part to actually help me. So that's been really frustrating. So I've decided to go to court myself and represent myself, and I don't necessarily expect to win or get my money. That would be gravy if I did. But if nothing else, I will get a chance to tell my story, and I don't even care if they sympathize with me or believe me or whatever, as long as I get to get up there and say what I have to say and put her in a position where she has to answer for herself as well. So that's where I'm going.
Without a lawyer, those chances become very slim. Because I guarantee you they're going to have a lawyer. And they're going to file all types of different briefs of why it should be dismissed, or why it's this, or why it's that. So you've already been through 2 lawyers, and you said they did nothing, but I would want to know is why. What have they told you? What did they say? Are they telling you you don't have a case here and you're not accepting it? Or like you're just breezing over that, and if you think you're just going to be able to breeze into court like it's on Law and Order on TV and be able to tell your side of the story, that's unrealistic. Especially when the other side's going to be bringing a lawyer and be filing pre-motions and all that type of stuff. This doesn't sound like something you should be getting involved without a lawyer in.
With that, so my biggest priority is exposure here. I don't really need any advice except for how to better expose her, how to get the school shut down, how to bring attention to the situation. And, you know, if you or any of your listeners have any advice on that subject, or any advice about court, things that I could, you know,
Well, trying to go into court without a lawyer is not usually the first way I would go to trying to expose them. I would start with, you know, whatever their licensing is about, however that works. I would contact the media. I would write to the newspapers. I would do what you're doing with blogs and stuff. I don't know if a court is the best means always for exposure, especially without an attorney.
Things that I could use, advice I could use, or whatever from you or your listeners, that would be really greatly appreciated. So I'm about to start the story now. Just give me 1 second to click it up here. Okay, I wrote this on a WordPress blog, so it has a link, and you can please, if you don't mind, Ali, just posting that link on the video, so that if anybody wants to share the link with other people that they think might be helpful, then that would be great. All right, so it's titled Child Abuse in Our Community, French School of Austin True Review. And I call it the True Review because there's a lot of reviews out there that are just totally bogus. I've had 3 different accounts completely shut down on Yelp, not just the reviews, but the entire accounts. 3 accounts were completely removed from the face of the earth by Yelp when I tried to expose this woman. And I finally did get one to stick, but it went into the unrecommended section. So I'm doing all I can to let people know the truth, so that they can make a decision on whether or not they want to risk their child being treated this way. So anyway, Child Abuse in Our Community, French School of Austin True Review. Already said that, sorry. Child abuse claims against the school are not to be ignored when we, as parents, are searching for a place to enroll our children for academic as well as social emotional education. I had to learn the hard way that private schools are not regulated by the state the way public and charter schools are. What that meant for me was that there was no one to turn to when my child suffered severe emotional abuse and also some physical abuse by the director owners of the school. At the time, École Jean-Jacques Rousseau, but has since taken on the name French School of Austin. The school remains open to this day, bringing in more children and their unsuspecting families to be used, abused, and ignored. I have made complaints with CPS, the local police, Consumer Affairs, the Attorney General, and other organizations with no results whatsoever, including the media. I've tried 3 different media channels, and they're just, they're just like, whatever, maybe we'll do the story someday. I hired a lawyer who did nothing and charged me more than the settlement was, charged me more than the settlement he was offered to present to me. I have another lawyer now, and we are working on a lawsuit, but I just found out that he is going to federal prison, so it doesn't look like he's going to be able to represent me at this point anymore. The amount of time and money I've spent and or lost because of this school is substantial. I mean, really, like everything I had.
Well, my question would be, what are you suing them for exactly? Like, are you suing them for tuition? Are you suing them for abuse, for distress?
But doesn't compare to the overall effect of mine and my child's emotional well-being. I know I am friends with other parents, their kids, and teachers who have also suffered severe emotional distress over the treatment of themselves and their children by this abusive and criminal business. After my daughter spoke up about the abuse she was suffering at school, she named several other children in her class that she saw being abused as well. I contacted the parents, who then asked their children and confirmed the truth. Just based on my child's testimony, 7 children, including my daughter, were removed for child abuse from the school. These were all kids in my child's class. She had a class of 9 children. 7 of them were removed for child abuse. The other 2, their parents have their heads in the sand, is what that is. When some of these parents, some people care more about their kids learning French than they do about their kids' well-being, and that's sad, but it's the truth. When some of these parents demand their deposits for the following year to come, the director, Hind Louali, refused to give refunds. I was told that my deposit money for the following year had already been spent on debts that the school owed for for the previous year, which I believe is like, I don't know, that sounds like extortion or embezzlement or something to me. It certainly isn't legal. It is legal to spend, that should say it is not legal. It is not legal to spend money your business has not yet earned. Plus, that sounds like extortion to me. Actually, I think it's more like embezzlement. Anyway, maybe you guys have some insight on that. It was proven only weeks later that she had at least $13,000 in school funds, of which she could have refunded my money easily, as it was a fraction of that amount that I was asking for back. This would not be the first or last lie from Miss Luali. I was promised a scholarship that Hint never intended to give me. After 3.5 years of wiping out my savings to keep my child enrolled long enough to become eligible for the scholarship, I was told, quote, "You will have to get the donations for your child's scholarship yourself," end quote. She told me this 3.5 years after I had already been at the school. That is not usually how scholarships work, but if that was the case, why didn't she tell me that from the beginning so that I could have used that 3.5 years to garner donations for the scholarship fund, or chosen another school that could provide immediate assistance? I chose the school for 2 reasons. It had a scholarship program, which would be essential for my pay grade, and they offered Arabic, which is the language of my daughter's surname. The scholarship was never there to be won, and my daughter did not learn Arabic. After enrolling, my daughter didn't get to take Arabic class until we had been there for 2.5 years. The third year at oh, by the way, she had told me when I enrolled her that they offered Arabic, but she didn't tell me that I had to wait for her to be in second grade, or first or second grade, for her to take Arabic. So I
already told you my feeling on this. Okay. You're making decisions for your daughter that you shouldn't be making. She's 6 to 8 years old when this was going on, and you're worried about having her take Arabic. Now, part of the problem here, why you're not getting any response from anyone, because I did, again, have to look again, where you are in one of the most liberal cities in the country, Austin, Texas. Even though it's in Texas, Austin is crazy left-wing liberal. You're not going to get the police, CPS. I'm surprised the Attorney General's not doing anything, but I think they have bigger fish to fry than an immigrant school doing this type of stuff. So my fear is that, and I told you this behind the scenes, that you're picking the wrong battle here.
paid the money, signed the contract, etc. The third year at EJJR, she was in an Arabic class. Hence, father, Muhammad Luwali, was the teacher. At the end of the year, my daughter knew a couple of words, but didn't even know her alphabet in Arabic.
Nobody in Austin, Texas is going after somebody named Muhammad Luwali until after something horrific happens. That's a fact. That's a fact, Charlie. And that might be why you might be having problems having lawyers to find out. Because it's a progressive leaning immigrant school teaching Arabic to 6 to 8 year olds. Muhammad Luwali in Austin, Texas. You're not getting anywhere here. Not for a while. Not for a while. In a city that's trying to tell the federal government to go fuck themselves and make themselves a sanctuary city, you think these city officials are going to go after a left-wing, progressive immigrant school teaching Arabic to Muhammad Ali? Ain't happening. Ain't happening.
daughter is very gifted, so I didn't understand why until she told me why later, that she spent most of the time during Arabic class out in the hallway by herself, which is not legal, by the way. She explained that she would space out or lay her head on the desk because she was tired or bored. This upset Mr. Luwali, so he would grab her and pull her in the hallway after only 5 or 10 minutes of class, and then leave her there until the next teacher came.
You are not going to get anybody in Austin, Texas to do anything about Muhammad Luwali, a Muslim, for manhandling a child. It's in their culture. You're in the wrong city for this shit. You're a racist for even bringing it up. Don't you get it? Doesn't matter what your daughter's surname is. This is why you're getting nowhere. This is why you will get nowhere. You are run into a buzzsaw.
My child will listen to instructions and does not have to be physically handled to go into a hallway. This was not even close to the worst of it, though. Towards the end of the year, my daughter told me that she was sitting on the floor to get her markers from under her desk for an assignment. She said that Mr. Luwali kicked her in the leg and told her to get up. I was in disbelief because this man is so tiny and so fragile. I could not imagine him being abusive. However, the other children later confirmed that he was abusing several children in that class on a regular basis.
Yeah, that's what they do. Why didn't you pull your daughter out of school the first time? Why? Probably because you didn't want to be called a racist? For the same reason why nobody will help you and nobody's going to do anything about it. You're in the wrong city. They're going to say you're being culturally insensitive. You don't know any better. And it's in their culture to just lie to your face about it. Nobody in that city is going to lift a finger to do anything about it. And with all the other problems, with sanctuary cities, this is going to fall to the very bottom of the list unless you can prove some kind of link to terrorism or these children are being sexually abused. And even the sexual abuse, good luck on that because that's part of the culture as well.
With various types of intimidation and physical abuse. I wrote an email to him the day my daughter told me she was kicked. I wrote a letter to him, and
your daughter gets kicked by the principal and you wrote a letter?
Hind just claimed that my daughter had a different, quote, different perspective of events. My daughter is extremely honest and well-behaved, so it was very
spoken like a true liberal.
What Hind was saying about her behavior at school. She did not address the situation how I asked her to, nor in any other way. I asked her to have her father apologize to my daughter and reassure her that that would not happen again, but nothing was ever said to my daughter. My daughter never got an apology or anything from anyone.
Your daughter was 6 to 8 years old and an adult is kicking her? Listen, your daughter's not an adult. You do real, I mean, this is getting very disturbing. Okay? Your daughter didn't need an apology from her teacher. She needed you to protect her. Protecting her is not writing a letter to the goddamn principal for kicking what you told me she was 6 to 8 years old. You're talking about second grade, trying to learn Arabic. What are you doing? And you told me the reason that was because in case she wanted to be a journalist in the Middle East. I don't know what you're trying to accomplish here, or if you're trying to accomplish something or prove something where you're at. And I hope we get into this. But you are completely delusional right now. Completely delusional to the facts around you. Your daughter doesn't need letters written. She needs her mother to protect her. Nothing else matters. Nothing else. I got to stop it here. I honestly do. I got to stop it here. And I am not going to use this as a co-sponsor. I'm going to just leave it at this, because I don't need to go any further. I don't need to go any further. And honestly, for the donation you gave, this is fine for the length of the video. You have to get this together. The rest of your story doesn't matter, Charlie. It doesn't matter. Okay? Now, you told me you have your own PTSD issues. This is a problem. You need to snap out of it, because you're not protecting your daughter. Okay? Going to court over this, trying to expose this school at this point, is a fruitless effort. You need to abandon it. That's not how you fight for your daughter. You fight for your daughter by pulling her out of the school. Say, you never touch my fucking daughter again. And if I ever see your face, I'm going to kick a hole in it. You just taught your daughter that it's all right for an adult to kick her? Why? To manhandle her and drag her out, and you're going to write a letter? No. No. The rest of this doesn't matter. I have it. I have it down. It's not going anywhere. And I told you this about the Austin thing. Your daughter's being physically kicked and you're writing letters and asking for apologies. It doesn't, you're not going to change. What are you going to fight through it and change the school at your daughter's expense? You're trying to prove something in court. Like, I understand that you're angry. This isn't it. You got to understand the fight is gone. What are you trying to prove? You're trying to put yourself into bankruptcy? Now, if you're going to court to try to win your money back, that's fine. Get a lawyer to do that, because they sure as hell are going to do the same. They sure as hell are going to do the same. This is what I would suggest to you. Okay? I would reach out. If you, the only thing you can do, the right thing you can do, is first, your daughter's already out of the school. I know that. You're homeschooling her, and I told you to either put her into regular public school, let her be a kid for a while, or maybe Catholic school, some other type of private. But you got to understand, narcissism runs rampant in all education. All education, it's everywhere. Because whenever you have control over something, and especially people's children, narcissism is going to flock to it. Narcissists are going to flock to it, and they protect their own. So in the public schools, you got stuff like tenure and teachers union protecting the narcissism. But in your case, you're not going to win against this school. It's a left-wing, immigrant-run, Arabic teaching, Muslim kicking kids. You're getting nowhere. The rest of this is meaningless, because it makes you look bad. The response to your daughter getting kicked isn't to write a fucking letter. 6 to 8 years old, it's not to write a letter. Your daughter being pulled out of class and manhandled is not a letter writing, not by Mr. Muhammad. That's why nobody's responding. That's why nobody wants to. That's why the local attorneys don't want to get involved. You need to find, and the only thing I could suggest to you is find groups that deal with immigration issues and how that's it. I mean, that's the only thing I would suggest to you as far as trying to expose this school. But you're not going to do it through court, okay? If you're just trying to get back some of the tuition, then you're going to need an attorney to do that, because they're sure as hell going to have one as well. And at some point, you're going to have to say, is this worth the sanity of my daughter? If people know in the school and they choose to be there anyway, then that's up to them. You've already raised the flag. You've already warned everybody you removed your daughter. Your job is done now. At this point, you're probably out more for vengeance. But you're not going to get it in court. Not in Austin, Texas. Nobody's going to lift a finger in a city. Nobody's going to go after an immigrant school in a city that's trying to tell the federal government to go fuck themselves and be a sanctuary city. That's a fact. And you are not going to, there's no alarm bell you can ring loud enough that's going to wake up the people in that school or anybody in that city to do anything about it. Period. And quite frankly, the Attorney General of Texas has bigger problems with gangs and dealing with sanctuary cities than this one little immigrant school, though it has a major impact on your life. Sometimes you just got to cut your losses because that's what's best for your child. I'm sorry I got to cut it short, because I only 12 minutes into your audio, but it doesn't matter. Once you're allowing your own child to be brutalized in a school and manhandled, the rest of this doesn't matter, because you're doing it for all the wrong reasons, and I have to stop it and call it out. For her sake, for your sake. 6 to 8 years old is too young to be worried about her becoming you're making just adult decisions for your child. That's what adults do, apologize for punching. A child needs to be protected. She's not an adult. She's a child. And you're probably not going to want to hear this, but I have to be honest with you. I have to be honest with you. So, please take my words not as an attack, as a wake-up call to snap out of it and let it go if that's what's best. Going into court without a lawyer is insane, and you have to just chalk this up to your own PTSD. To your own PTSD, just not being able, hindering you from reacting properly to your own daughter being abused in her school. You have PTSD from your own abuse. How would you have felt if that's all that happened? If you were your daughter and all your mother did was write a letter and ask for an apology? I mean, that's telling your daughter it's all right. That's all you're worth. No. No. That doesn't keep her protected, and it sure doesn't make a child feel safe. An apology from a man that she's got to be in the school with, you're not around, that he could say whatever he wants. Anybody who has the thought, the capability to hurt a child like that, and they're going to keep him there, it doesn't matter. What were you going to do? You're going to keep her in the school to prove something? To who? All right. Thank you, though, for your contribution. Okay, and for sending this in to me. I know this is not what you probably wanted, but I have to be honest here. I just have to be. And running through another 40 minutes, 45 minutes of this is, I can't, because it doesn't matter at this point. Because all of it is just minutia. It's beside the point, and it's only going to make you look worse. So, thank you to everybody watching. If you think I'm fucked up on this and I'm wrong, and believe it or not, this is the second one of these I did today. And the last one, I just didn't post because it was just, in my opinion, it was just too much. This one, I'm going to post because, look, you got to realize when you're abused that sometimes you don't make the best decisions, and your need for vengeance clouds your judgment. Don't let your need for vengeance on the narcissist cloud your judgment, especially in relation to your child. So I hope that, I really do. I hope I got through to you here, honestly, because I don't want to do this. I really don't. This bothers me, and this is the second one of these, and I've never had to do this. The other one I didn't post, but this one I feel I absolutely have to. So please, please, I hope this is a wake-up call to you. Please, I hope this is just like, I gotta stop. All right, you're right. You're right. You're right. You're right. Let your daughter be an 8-year-old. Let her have fun. Let her socialize with children on her own. Let her, and understand that in education, all education is a breeding ground for narcissism. If you can leave the area, move to a new area, I would try. I would do that. If not, you're going to have to understand you're not going to get justice. You're just not. Not in the city you're in. So, thank you again to everybody. Let me know if you think I'm wrong, and I'm just going to leave it here. Thanks.